Man, I am just so wrestled out of WWE. I really am. It is very difficult to stay concentrated. It is very difficult to stay in the zone. It is very difficult to care when watching a WWE weekly program on Monday and Friday night, man. The go-home show for the Survivor Series. I'll tell you what, man, I can't survive WWE when it's this bad. Daniel Bryan is back. He went one-on-one with Jey Uso again in the main event with a new haircut. Buddy Murphy versus Seth Rollins in what I hope is the final match of any sort between any of these individuals involved. Sasha Banks dances and Asuka is inaudible, trying to sell a women's championship champion versus champion match. And Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, contract signing tonight. 1 week before the show. Folks, it's gonna be a boring one. Hopefully you're awake, because I'm barely alive, man. This is your SmackDown post-show. Right here on Off the Script.
Delete this man.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your SmackDown post show for Survivor Series weekend. It is November 20th, 2020. You know, man, I used to love the Survivor Series. I really did. Every time this year, or every time around this point in the year, I always think back to what I always used to do with my brothers. We always watched the old school Survivor Series pay-per-views. I'm quite fond of 1993. The first half of the 90s I'm quite fond of, let's just say that. 1993 was one of my favorites. I loved the Undertaker-Yokozuna build. And I loved the Hearts kind of just melting down right in Boston Garden with Bobby the Brain Heenan just going crazy on the Hart family, just dragging Martha Hart and Stu Hart through the mud, man, and making fun of the Hart family. Well, what a great Survivor Series that was. I don't get that feeling for Survivor Series anymore. I haven't had that feeling for Survivor Series in many, many years. And it seems like WWE just doesn't care about the Survivor Series. They don't care about anything in general. They don't care about anything on a weekly basis from Monday to Friday, rinse and repeat, 52 weeks in the year. But Survivor Series is one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year, man. And if I didn't do this show, or if you guys didn't watch any other podcasters in the community here on YouTube, you probably wouldn't even realize that there is a Survivor Series pay-per-view this weekend. I had to stop and think myself at some points what was going on this weekend, and I even almost forgot that there was a Survivor Series pay-per-view. Nothing on this show feels important. Nothing on this show feels important. And I see you, Drew. I see you, bro. Listen, bro, you want to do a 1993 Survivor Series retro review, man? Let's do it. Let's do it. I absolutely love that show, man. I could talk about that show without any notes in front of me, man. Like the back of my hand, I know that show. But Survivor Series doesn't feel special to me anymore, man. This show doesn't feel important at all. I ranted about this on Monday. And I don't even understand why they gave Drew McIntyre the WWE title. It's like, you did all that for what? What did you really accomplish here? You accomplished nothing. You know, you took the title off of Drew McIntyre, and you ruined his momentum. You ruined the consistency of being a babyface WWE champion to give it to Randy Orton for 2 weeks, only to drop it back to Drew McIntyre because Vince McMahon had an epiphany one afternoon and said, you know what, I want to do Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. I mean, you can't do that. He can do that, but that doesn't make it right. It makes it fucking stupid. Randy Orton should have been the WWE champion. If that's what you wanted to do, that's what you should have stayed with. Drew McIntyre could have been the captain of Team Raw. That would have been a perfect situation for him to be in. You had one plan, and then you opted to change it and go with something else, which leaves you absolutely with no interest. No interest. We had a contract signing tonight with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, and I'm watching this, and I'm talking to myself, struggling to care about anything that these guys are saying. Roman was fantastic, as always. But Drew McIntyre was a shell of whatever WWE is portraying him to be. He was belittled so much that he reminded me of a fucking schoolyard bully. Roman Reigns did. Bullying Drew McIntyre. Belittling this guy. Taking his lunch money and kicking him to the ground, calling him all these different types of names. He looked like he was 2 feet tall in that segment tonight. And why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? For what? You took the title off of Randy Orton to put it on Drew McIntyre to get a match in which neither guy can lose. There's going to be a fuck finish on Sunday night. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know who it's going to be. It's The Miz, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan. We don't know. Sheamus. We don't know. But you took it off of Randy Orton and put it on Drew McIntyre, and the only thing I mentioned on Monday, the most glaring thing on Monday that I mentioned is you're in the same boat that you were in with Randy Orton as the WWE champion. You traded what you thought was a okay vehicle for another vehicle, and you think it's so much better, but in actuality, it's of equal or lesser value than the vehicle that you just traded in. You did nothing to enhance the situation. You're right back in the same boat that you were in. Neither guy can lose. And I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I enjoyed Drew McIntyre as a babyface. I thought he's done an admirable job. Roman Reigns is on top of the wrestling world right now. He's the biggest heel in the entire industry. Don't even argue with me. There's nobody even fucking close. And if you do, you're a fucking idiot. Plain and simple. And that's coming from somebody that shit on the Roman Reigns character for 6 years. Roman Reigns is the biggest heel in the industry right now, and nobody's even on the same fucking planet. But I don't give a shit about Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. I don't know why you would give a shit about Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. What difference does it make? What are they trying to accomplish here? You're pretty much scrambling to make Survivor Series look a little bit more appealing than it was 2 weeks ago, and you've actually made things a little bit worse. You've actually made it more illogical. And this is why I don't understand. You got the shills and the check marks in the community just batting an eyelash and shrugging your shoulders. It doesn't matter. This is the bigger money match. The bigger money match doesn't exist on this show. Why? Because you're celebrating 30 years of The Undertaker. That's what you're building this entire show around, not Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, which would have been better off saved for an actual feud and an actual storyline and an actual match that fucking meant something with a title on the line. I said it Monday, I'm going to say it now. Why do I get the grasp of this situation and most of everybody does not? Why do I know what's going on better than WWE knows what's going on? This entire show was a waste of time tonight. Everything from the contract signing to Monday Night Raw superstar showing up on SmackDown Live. Oh, now Bruce realizes that we got a Survivor Series pay-per-view on Sunday. Where was this 3 weeks ago? Where was this all month? Where was the Raw superstar showing up on SmackDown and the SmackDown superstar showing up on Raw and giving us that brand versus brand warfare feel? Oh, you realized when you got into the building today at 6 o'clock, hey, Vince, we got a pay-per-view on Sunday night. I'm not sure if you forgot or not, because that's exactly what fucking happened. I don't need a Ringside News, or I don't need a Meltzer or anybody to tell me that the fucking script was late. The show felt it, as always. All you needed to do was watch the first 30 minutes, and you would have realized that the script was delivered at 7:59 p.m. Nothing on this show mattered. We're going to break it down. We're going to go over what happened leading into the Survivor Series, the go-home show for SmackDown tonight. I got your SmackDown news and rumors. Usually like doing the cold open about the most important part of the show. But the most important part of the show is Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, and I don't care. And neither should you, because the match means nothing, and more than likely it will end in a fuck finish. Because neither guy can lose clean. This is why the WWE needs to change the Survivor Series concept ASAP. And I went over that in an off-the-script podcast that a lot of people thought was one of the best of the year. And I will probably reiterate some of that here tonight. So strap yourselves in, man. It's going to be a good one. I have no energy to yell. I have no energy to scream and rant and scream like a banshee. But I'm probably going to be doing that on Sunday night anyway. So got to save my energy at some point this weekend. Hopefully you guys understand. But I thank you guys for being here with me, as always, on the podcast, live on YouTube, man. We are looking at over 1,000 right now. Kind of low for my standards, but SmackDown is not really your standard wrestling show. It's actually bottom of the barrel along with Monday Night Raw. So I'm not really surprised about the people filtering on in here and the people that are not here because you didn't watch the show. And why should you watch the show? WWE doesn't give a shit, so why should you? But if you are here, thank you for joining me tonight. Hit that like button, guys. It helps out the channel, and it helps out the live stream immensely. We got 242 likes right now. Let's try for a goal. I'm going to leave a soft cap for a goal right now. Let's try for 500. If you guys could get to 500, we'll raise it to 750. So let's try and get, before I do all my introductions, let's try and get to 500, man. If you're in the chat and have not hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up right now. Help the channel out. Great way to do that by hitting that thumbs up, man. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Become a part of JD's Elite. If you guys want to even become a member of the channel, you can certainly do that as well. Hit that join button at the bottom of the video screen, and you'll get a couple of set of emojis, man. Nice little emblem next to your name. Become a member of the channel. It helps out the channel as well if you want to do that. Follow me on social media. At JD from NY206. Ahmed in the chat. At JD from NY206. Please fix WWE. Bro, how could I do that? How could I do that? I'm public enemy number one over there, bro. I'm probably fucking sitting on their office wall with the Young Bucks on a wanted poster. Do not interact with this individual. I would not be surprised. How could I save it? How could I could. I know somebody's watching. Somebody's watching. You ain't fooling me. Take my ideas. I don't even give a shit, man. I work for free. I just want good television. Take my ideas, pass them along to Bruce, and show Bruce how it's done. I wish. At JD from NY206. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. If you guys were on Twitter today, man, I actually had some pretty exciting news. I've been on Twitch for quite a while, man. I actually was on Twitch several years back. I had accumulated over 10,000 followers on Twitch. And one day I decided, you know what? I'm going to delete this Twitch channel and start all over again, man. And then I started and I accumulated almost another 10,000 followers. And after several attempts of trying to get partnered, one after the other, They always told me, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're not this. Oh, you didn't meet this requirement. Oh, you got to do this and you got to stream X amount of days. It literally took me 5 or 6 times to apply to get denied. And today I actually got partnered. I am an official check mark on Twitch as of today, man. And I'm very excited about that because with that comes more ad revenue. With that comes more emojis for you guys. With that comes all the perks of being in the partner program. So if you guys have not followed the Twitch streams, man, I'm going to be on there more consistently every single week. We're going to have a big celebratory stream on Monday afternoon, and we're going to be playing some Black Ops Cold War on PlayStation 5. So let's try and all get together, man, and hang out on Monday. But I am now an official Twitch partner, which makes me very happy. WWE will not be telling me to close down. WWE will not be taking half of my ad revenue, and Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard can kiss my ass. So I can be sitting pretty next to Paige and Zelina Vega, man. There you go. So thank you to my wonderful Twitch family over there. You guys have been with me all through this. Hula Grim, Rage, Vandelli, JLD, Inverted, all you guys over there. Jacob Donnelly, everybody over there, man. You guys have been fucking awesome. I know I'm missing some. I do not mean anything by that, but you know who you are, man. Everybody that's ever been in that stream, in that chat, you guys are definitely the reason why we got partnered today. So thank you, and we'll be celebrating on Monday, man. I'll be breaking out the cold beverages, and I'm going to need them because Call of Duty sucks this year, as always. So thank you guys very much. Very excited about that. Twitter, Instagram, make sure you guys go and support the Patreon page. Patreon, very, very soon, man. It's imminent. Really imminent. Possibly this weekend. Patreon's going to be going under reconstruction, and we will be having perks out the ass, man. So if you want to get in on that, patreon.com/JD from NY206. We got a new t-shirt out. I'm not sure if I mentioned this. We got a new t-shirt out, man. It's very simple. It's not something that was really planned. It's not something that I'm going to be mass marketing all over the place. It's there if you guys want it. But with the release of the biggest game all year, or what I think is going to be the biggest game all year, the way that it's being hyped up, and the way that it's been delayed, CyberPunk 2077, man, for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Salrex was kind enough to just be fucking around with whatever he does, and we got a new t-shirt out on Bonfire. So if you guys want to go check that out, link is already down below in the description right now, man. If you guys want to go and get it, it is just a very clean, simple JD from NY 206 logo design shirt in the cyberpunk theme. And it comes in white and it comes in gold. So if you guys are interested in that, if you guys are interested in the game and you like the vibe of the game, and you guys want to support the podcast and me, that is now available on bonfire.com. The only place to get that is Bonfire. So go check the description. It is now available for everybody. It's only in black because it looks best in black, man. I got women's tees up there. I got unisex tees, and I got long sleeve for the winter months coming. So go check that out, man. Every shirt goes towards making this operation even better for you guys. And today's show is sponsored by The Ridge. Ridge.com/script, man. I love me my Ridge wallet. And the holidays are coming up. And I'll tell you what, man, being that this is one of my most favorite things to take with me every single day, Christmas is coming up, man. You need a gift? There's no better gift than The Ridge, man. We'll talk about them a little bit later. And if you missed any of the videos that I've uploaded this week, Monday Night Raw, awesome. AEW, awesome, with Jesse. He got buried by Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa was watching the show on Wednesday night, and she buried Jesse. I love Jesse, but he had it coming to him, man. He had it coming to him. But all is good, and she was watching, which I love to hear, man. Makes me feel very good that someone that I love and appreciate that much is watching the show, man. So it made me feel good on Wednesday night. So thank you to her, and thank you to everybody that made the podcast on Wednesday. Really, really good stuff. Anyway, man, let's get into the news. I got WWE news. The Thunderdome is no longer going to be in the Amway Center. WWE is moving again. They're like fucking nomads. WWE is moving into Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays of MLB. Tropicana Field is in St. Petersburg, and that will be the new home of WWE programming until further notice. The company made the official announcement today that they will start airing from their new home on December 11th. So that is just 3 weeks away, folks. This comes from WWE's public relations Twitter account. Not the official WWE account, but the public relations Twitter account. They say, and I quote, "At WWE will bring its world-class viewing experience, WWE Thunderdome, to the Trop in Tampa Bay as it begins a new residency starting with SmackDown on Friday, December 11th at 8 p.m. on Fox Sports. According to WrestleVotes, WWE's current plan is for the Thunderdome to move to Tropicana Field on December 11th. This stay will last through WrestleMania season, and they plan to bring back live fans on the Raw after WrestleMania and possibly for the Royal Rumble. The newest plan now is to have Thunderdome shows at Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. Starting mid-December through Mania season, fans at the Royal Rumble is still possible, potentially even at the Trop in Tampa Bay. WWE is hoping to start traditional live arena shows with fans the night after WrestleMania, end quote. I'm talking about this now because it is having to do with SmackDown, being that SmackDown will be the first show in the Tropicana Field on December 11th. Then they'll be doing the Raw after that, and then every week after that, moving into TLC, and then the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season, so on and so forth. So I'm going to talk about this now because this is pertinent to SmackDown. I like this move. It is an outdoor venue with a dome, I believe, and WWE can have air-conditioned venue. WWE can have, depending on the weather in Florida around this time of season, WWE can have the dome open. If WWE wants fans in attendance, they have the option to do that with the open air, which is a lot better than having everybody enclosed in a venue, depending on the weather. And WWE, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, WWE has made it kind of a yearly thing. It's kind of young. WWE has had this yearly thing about Royal Rumble standing out amongst all the other pay-per-views, amongst the pack of the Big Five. WWE is doing Royal Rumble in baseball stadiums, so this is definitely fitting into that consistency of the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble took place in Texas. Royal Rumble took place in Phoenix, both baseball stadiums, and now Royal Rumble will be taking place in St. Petersburg, Florida, at the Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. So that gets WWE 3 years in a row for the Royal Rumble in a baseball stadium, which I love the aesthetics of it. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. And it fits right into that. And I think the Royal Rumble has everything to do with WWE opting to go with Tropicana Field. Now, I don't know if there were other options available to them. I don't know if they had other venues on the list or they just went big or go home here. But WWE doing Tropicana Field, I do believe, is a big Royal Rumble situation. And that was the determining factor for the move into Tropicana Field. I think it's going to be great. I told you once, I'm going to say it again. No matter where they go, WWE is always going to remain the same. All the geeks, all the shills, all the apologists have all stated that the Thunderdome has enhanced the shows. I don't know what I'm seeing or what I'm missing, but they have not. The WWE shows are even more insufferable now than they were when they were in the Performance Center. The makeup of where they are, the building, doesn't really matter at all. And this is what I tried to get across. I don't give a fuck if you're taking this show and putting it in your grandmother's backyard and Grandpa fucking Smith, whatever the fuck, Grandpa fucking old bag of bones is, he's gardening or whatever. He's fucking cutting the hedges. Doesn't fucking matter, man. Martha could come out and bring him fucking iced tea that's loaded with fucking sugar. I know, because my grandma did it to my grandpa. He drank fucking Lipton iced tea, man. Fucking sugar out the ass. Drank it every day, all day long, man. That's exactly what I grew up with. You can have that happen. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where the show is. The show is always going to be trash. You could put this show anywhere, man. Book a good show. The building is not going to be indicative of what WWE does for a good show on Monday or Friday night. Now, I will say this. Just the sheer curiosity of everybody, on December 11th, the ratings may be just a little bit, a smidgen higher than what they usually are. But when everybody sees that it's the same fucking boring, nonsensical, illogical trash that we see every single week, then the rating is going to go down to where we usually get it. And that's for Raw, a 1.6, and then SmackDown at 2.1. After that, goodbye. After that, December 11th, goodbye. Nobody's going to give a shit. Curiosity kills the cat. December 11th, everybody, or more people will be watching. And then after that, everybody goes back to their normal programming, their regularly scheduled programming, which I'm assuming is Guy Fieri on Triple D. Because that's exactly what I should be watching on Friday, but I'm here watching this shit. So WWE's moving into the Thunderdome, moving the Thunderdome into Tropicana Field, I should say. But that is, I say, indicative of the Royal Rumble, and that's what they had in mind. WWE is looking for a new lead writer. They're looking for a new lead writer. Don't get it confused. They're not replacing Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard is not a lead writer for Raw or SmackDown. Bruce Pritchard is the executive director. The illogical executive director of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown on Fox. But they're looking for a new lead writer to manage Raw and SmackDown. Now, what does this mean? WWE posted a job offer as of this week on their corporate job website. They are looking for a lead writer who will manage the writers and producers on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Vince No Plan McMahon said during the last investor call that they want the shows to have better writing, so perhaps this is the first step in that direction. The job offer also calls for this person to have at least 10 years of experience, and they will also work directly with talent. The job also calls for relocation to Stamford, Connecticut. This is the job posting, and I quote, WWE develops and produces 52 weeks of original programming, including Monday Night Raw, the longest-running weekly episodic television show in the history, airing on USA Network, as if that means anything to anybody, and Friday Night SmackDown airing in primetime every Friday night on Fox. Both Raw and SmackDown combine action, drama, reality, comedy, and adventure. Folks, do you feel like you're on an adventure when you're watching Monday night and Friday night? What type of adventure? I don't know, man. But I know the type of adventure I'm on. You sit down and you're pretending like you're playing Pitfall. Remember Pitfall for the old Atari, man? And you're swinging on the vines, and then all of a sudden, you hit the fucking button the right way, and then you fall into a pit of spikes. Yeah, that's my adventure for SmackDown, man. Feels like when I watch this show, I'm falling into a pit of spikes every Friday night. And adventure. And the goal of the creative team is to provide compelling stories. Yes, comedy. Comedy as well. Compelling stories portrayed by the world's most charismatic, diverse, larger-than-life characters on or off television. I would love for you to tell me who exactly is a larger-than-life character on this television. I don't know. WWE likes to make things sound good, and then one poor schmuck would probably apply for this shit, and he has no idea what is coming his way. The lead writer will have the opportunity to manage. Yeah, right. Manage and develop experienced writers with a diverse creative background while simultaneously being accountable for compiling, editing, and developing weekly long-term scripts, storylines, and character development. Folks. Oh, man. What am I reading, man? Am I reading the script for one of Dolph Ziggler's comedy shows? Hold on a second. Hold on one second. Folks. This poor schmuck, he's going to be accountable for compiling, editing, and developing weekly long-term scripts, long-term storylines, and character development. Folks, when has WWE last had long-term planning or long-term storytelling? When has WWE had storylines that actually were good and entertaining, besides Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks Bayley? And when has WWE had character development on their TV show? I mean, the one guy that I think about is fucking poor Aleister Black. And then I could go on down the line. What about Kevin Owens? What about Ricochet? What about Retribution? Character development? Are you fucking serious? WWE has no idea of any of these things, and then they want somebody to come on in and do these things, and when that person does them, axed. And I'm not talking about the fucking men's deodorant. I'm talking about fired. Which leads me to my next story. WWE has fired multiple people in charge of being in storyline continuity roles. This is coming from Ringside News. And they have learned that the term lead writer could apply to a couple of different positions. One line of thinking is that the company is looking for someone to put in charge of continuity. I'd do it for free, Vince. Somebody send this to fucking Bruce. I would be in charge of continuity on a weekly basis for free, as long as I don't have to travel to Stamford, Connecticut, which is not really that far from me. And I could work from this office at home, in my pajamas, with a nice pot of coffee sitting next to me, and we can go back and forth on fucking Discord, or Zoom, or Skype, or whatever fucking platform that you want. Because I don't want to be around somebody who probably smells and doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Bruce. A tenured member of the writing team told us at Ringside News that the term lead writer in WWE is the same as a vice president job in the corporate world. It can mean many different things. The company put out a search for somebody to be in charge of continuity in March of 2019. Ringside News then asked their sources in WWE about this position and whether WWE filled it. Ringside News was told, quote unquote, multiple times this position was filled. Those people never last, end quote. WWE seemingly always has open positions on the creative team. It's not really that difficult to figure out why. The new opening for lead writer got a lot of attention. As of this writing, it's really anyone's guess what the company has in mind. Folks, WWE realizes this is what I am interpreting. WWE is realizing that they have a fucking problem. WWE realizes that there's no continuity. Otherwise, they wouldn't put out a job posting or job listing for somebody to fill this role of somebody to fill in the gaps of continuity. They realize that they have a fucking problem. I don't need a job posting to read to you guys to tell you that WWE has a fucking problem about continuity. I talk about continuity every single week. Do you know how much continuity is on these shows on Monday and Friday? Zero. If you go listen to a fucking shill in the community that's probably live right now, right underneath me, they're probably saying the opposite. WWE has fine continuity. WWE has weekly episodic television. Yada, 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 blow me. No, they don't. No, they don't. WWE has no continuity. They realize that they have a fucking problem. Then they look to fill the position, and then they fire whoever is in charge of this role because they realize that Yeah, we have a problem, but we're stuck in our own ways, and Vince is always going to go with what he wants to do, and no matter what, everybody that's in that position, he's probably going to do what's right and what makes sense, and then you relay that back to Vince McMahon, and you make Vince McMahon by default look like a fucking blithering idiot. You make Bruce Pritchard look like a fucking idiot. You do their job better than them, and then when they find that out, then they let you go because their egos are so massively hurt that some poor schmuck that they found on Indeed knows how to run their fucking creative team better than they do combined. Am I in the ballpark, Bruce? That position will never be filled unless Bruce is gone and Vince is gone. Continuity? Give me a fucking break, bro. I got a better chance of Tony Storm knocking on my fucking door with Io Shirai wanting to go to bed with me tonight than WWE keeping that fucking position filled and actually listening to this guy as far as continuity. Never going to happen. It's a fucking pipe dream. Give me a break. Those are the two stories I got to start SmackDown off with tonight. Just wanted to get that out there. Because this all has to do with SmackDown. No matter what happens, lead writer for Raw, lead writer for SmackDown, it's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. Guys, again, thank you for joining me live on the podcast. We have, 1,200 in the chat. Hoot Media. I know Hoot Media's listening to me. Hoot Media, are we number one tonight? Are we number one in the community? Now, I know the answer, Hoot Media. I know the answer. I know you know the answer. I know you're on top of it already. But let me know if we're number one, Hoot Media, in the chat. Grandpa Smithers. Grandpa Smithers, man. He's fucking cutting the hedges. Doesn't matter if the show's happening in his backyard while he's cutting the hedges in his fucking underwear. It doesn't happen. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Hoot Media. I'm waiting on Hoot Media here, man. Well, Hoot Media is getting the fucking stats. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast today, man. Hit that thumbs up. We are 70 away from 500. Let's do it. Let's do it while we're live here tonight on SmackDown and the post show right here on Off the Script. I'm going to assume Hoot Media is there and they know that we're number one. So let's continue on with the show, man. Hoot Media, you're number one, man. There you go, Hoot Media. Appreciate you. Let's move on. SmackDown opened up with the Street Profits backstage. Angelo Dawkins said, yeah. Montez Ford began singing. What he was singing, I don't know. They said they're just 2 days away from paying tribute to The Undertaker. And then the lightning struck and the lights went purple. They heard, rest in peace. And then all of a sudden, Big E walked out. He was laughing as he was wearing the Undertaker hat, and he was doing the Undertaker shtick. He said he may not be the Undertaker, but they are just 2 days away from losing to the New Day at Survivor Series. Ford says they're going to knock Kofi's Jamaican accent back. And Big E talked up the New Day. Street Profits fired back by talking themselves up to Big E. Ford got slightly serious at the end of this promo and said, we want the smoke. No matter what you say. The New Day at Survivor Series, we want the smoke. Big E said New Day are at SmackDown. He told them not to be sour and clap for the 10-time tag team champions. Feel the power. Is it 10 or is it 11? Did WWE count this current reign? What was it, 8? And then it went to 9, and then when they traded the titles, it was 10? Or did they leave that trading of the titles out of the statistics? I don't know. Knowing WWE, they probably added that and put that on their overall stats just to make them look a little bit better. By the way, the New Day, when you want to talk tag teams, I'm going to mention this, and some people may disagree with me. I don't really give a shit. You can be a fan of the New Day. I think the New Day is awesome when they want to be serious. But even if they are 10, 11, 12 time tag team champions, I wouldn't even put the New Day in the top 20 tag teams of all time. I mean, when you look back at the New Day's title reign, or title reigns, They were champions 10 times in the weakest tag team division of the modern era. Probably in all of WWE history, the weakest tag team division in the history of World Wrestling Entertainment. So why would you rank the New Day as top 10, top 5 tag teams of all time? They're not even top 20 in my eyes. Yeah, they had great matches against the Usos. Yeah, they had great matches against, who else? The Shield, maybe? Right? The Wyatt family? Who else? Could you think of somebody else but the Usos that the New Day had a memorable feud with? There's no tag teams. How could you gauge their tag team championship title run 10 times in the current division when there are no tag teams? It's pretty much they're just holding the championships to get whatever record WWE wants them to get, and then goodbye. Hall of Fame for them. I wouldn't even put them in the top 20. They're a great tag team, but they aren't one of the best of all time. So, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston came out following this segment, and Xavier says he thought he was going to see a giant fist. I don't know what he meant by that. Maybe he was talking about the SmackDown fist. Kofi said they thought they'd check into the SmackDown hotel one more time. Remember a couple of weeks back where the New Day was all emotional and all crying because Big E got split from the New Day, right? He got drafted to SmackDown while they got drafted to Raw, and it was like, oh my God, how emotional, right? WWE does shit like this tonight, and they make all of that seem completely irrelevant, man. I had geeks telling me on social media, why don't you just enjoy the moment? Because the moment never fucking lasts with these people. That's why I say what I do. I got a big fucking mouth. And most of the time when I got a big mouth, I'm going to say something that's on the top of my fucking brain, and I'm going to let everybody know it. Most of the time it's right. But sometimes you don't like hearing it because it's the truth, and you don't like hearing the fucking truth because it goes against what you're thinking, and you don't want the negativity for whatever fucking reason, right? The truth stings. I said the New Day being all emotional, like, what the fuck are you crying about? You'll be back on SmackDown because of a brand invitational. We got Survivor Series coming up. You'll probably be across from each other at the Survivor Series. You'll see each other in the Royal Rumble. WWE can bring these guys to SmackDown whenever the fuck they want. What did they do tonight? They were back on the same show as Big E. Ooh, for nothing. Right? So what I said then, look back at this moment. Who was right? I was right. Don't ever question me in what I say ever again. So Xavier says that they have a few words for the Street Profits. They did sit-ups, middle of the ring, talking about the Undertaker tribute. Then they were interrupted by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is awesome. Sami Zayn deserves better on this show. He complains about them talking about the Undertaker. He said the only reason the Undertaker is calling this his final farewell is because he knows he owes him some revenge. He said Taker chokeslammed him at MSG last year, and WWE management is trying to protect Taker and let him take the easy way out. Why this was brought up, I have no idea, but Sami Zayn made this absolutely hilarious. And WWE management is trying to protect Taker, letting him take the easy way out. He said Bobby Lashley will not have the easy way out. Sami says he's not there to hurt New Day. He says he should be talking about the hottest act on SmackDown, the champion of the people, Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion. Kofi and Xavier says that they could say something nice about Sami Zayn. Xavier says, well, look at his outfit. He's got a great-looking outfit on. He looks like a recently divorced dad who just put down a down payment on a studio apartment. That 400 square feet is fitting you real nice, bro. Then they were interrupted by Baron Corbin. Corbin walked out and asked Sami Zayn if he's really just going to stand there and let these guys talk shit like that to him. He said, it's bad enough when Drew McIntyre came over from Raw last week, but now we got the New Day on our show. He asked if they didn't just have a farewell match a month ago. He even got Baron Corbin bringing it up, bro. Baron Corbin knows what's up. He may be a dick, but he knows what's up. Xavier says that was their farewell match as SmackDown Superstars, and now they are on Raw, paying a visit. Kofi said it's very different. By the way, I wish we were filled in before the show about Monday Night Raw Superstars coming on over, man. You could have really hyped the show up and really made it a big deal about the Survivor Series, but Bruce Pritchard, I guess, doesn't want that promotion going out about the show. He likes just keeping everybody in the dark. I don't really understand that logic, but whatever. So, Kofi said it's very different, and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode came out. So we had the New Day come out, cue Sami Zayn and his theme music. Sami Zayn cuts a promo on the New Day. Then cue Baron Corbin's music. Baron Corbin cuts a promo on Sami and the New Day. And then out comes Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, cue their music, and they're cutting a promo on the New Day, asking for a tag team title opportunity for titles that aren't even on their fucking brand. Who writes this shit? Why would you be asking for a tag team title match if the New Day aren't on your brand? Why the fuck would you want a title shot against the Monday Night Raw brand tag team champions? I mean, did anybody proofread this shit? Now I know why WWE put out a fucking job posting for somebody to lead continuity on the show, because WWE has zero of it right now on their writing staff. Zero. I pay attention to this shit. You guys might not. So when you're watching me and then you realize, oh, they did say that. I knew JD would bring that up. That's why I'm fucking here. That's why I'm here for you guys, man. I work. So Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode came out. Ziggler says that he doesn't have an issue with Corbin, but he doesn't like Sami at all. I don't know how you can't like Sami. He said New Day aren't supposed to be there. He says they should be tag team champions right now. Roode says if they had a match with them, again, they'd be Raw tag team champions. Kofi said, so that's what we know. Kofi and Xavier offered to defend the titles tonight, but against who? Then they kind of teased Ziggler and Bobby Roode into arguing over who was better. Sami said he and Corbin aren't a team, so they're not interested. Xavier says, well, why don't you guys wrestle these guys, and then the winner of that match gets us at the end of the night for the tag team titles. That doesn't make sense whatsoever. That is a counterproductive creative decision. I'm glad that didn't happen. So Sami was the right one here. Well, listen, me and Corbin aren't even a team, so we're not interested. But Roode and Ziggler looked like they were about to go after Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin and take the New Day up on their offer, but they ended up attacking the New Day, and then they go to commercial break. Actually, no, before the commercial break, the Street Profits come out, and they went out there after everybody. The New Day and the Street Profits helped clear the ring of all the heels, and then we go to commercial break, and you know what this was leading to. Your rudimentary, formulaic 8-man tag before the Survivor Series, because we don't have two big Survivor Series matches on Sunday night. We got to get a big 8-man tag out there on SmackDown to fill a big 30-minute gap, because Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon delivered a script to everybody at 7:54 p.m. tonight. Am I in the ballpark? This was an absolute waste of time. Segments like this are fucking terrible. They are so terribly scripted. It is fucking nauseating to see one act out there, cut a promo, cue somebody's theme music, out comes them, cue somebody else's theme music, out comes them, cue somebody else's theme music, out comes them. I fucking hate it. I can't even begin to imagine what you guys are thinking about watching this shit. You probably shut the goddamn show off in 20 minutes because it's the same shit. I would be a betting man and say even the fucking talent can't stand it. I say it all the time, man. The promos that start these shows would be a little bit more impactful if Sami Zayn came out there when New Day's cutting their promo and he's on the microphone and he does what he does best, talk shit. He doesn't need to have his theme music hit the PA system. It just takes away from the entire segment. It makes it seem very unnatural. Seems very unorganic. Sami Zayn just came out through Gorilla with a microphone and started cursing the New Day while they were mid-sentence in a promo. Don't you think that would be a little bit more impactful than cueing somebody's theme music and have the theme music interrupt them? Like, why is this theme music playing? It's almost as if I'm not watching a sporting event. It's like I'm watching a fucking play unfold on Broadway. You know, cue Act 1, Scene 3. Are you fucking serious? This is why I hate WWE, man. Stop with the fucking micromanaging. It is so garbage. It really is. I don't know how anybody in that company thinks that looks the right way. Seriously, but then they want somebody with fucking continuity, right? Give me a break. They are stuck in their own ways, folks. They will be stuck in their own ways until Vince McMahon dies. And Bruce Pritchard is no longer there. So we got an 8-man tag. This was absolutely a waste of time. 13 minutes of absolutely nothing. You got the New Day, who are the Raw Tag Team Champions, and the Street Profits, who are the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Folks, they pair two sets of Tag Team Champions on the same team. They are opponents on Sunday night. They paired both sets of Tag Team Champions on the same team. Who do you think was going to win while they have a match on Sunday night against each other? You didn't think Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin with Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler were going to win now, did ya? At least make it unpredictable, just a smidgen. Anytime Dolph Ziggler's in the ring against anybody, loss. Why? Because he's a fucking loser. This was a waste of time. So IC champ in this situation gets pinned. That's another thing, Bruce. Imagine that. But they want somebody with continuity. I can't wait to see somebody take this position of, lead writer on SmackDown and Raw. We need somebody to fill in the logic gaps, right? We need somebody to fill in the logic gaps of us not being, in on the continuity. WWE had Sami Zayn pinned in this match. He's the IC champion. Sami Zayn has a match against Bobby Lashley on Sunday night, the United States champion. Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode do not have a match on Sunday night. Don't you think it would have been best for Dolph Ziggler or Bobby Roode to get the pin here or to have them eat the pin here? Why did Sami Zayn need to eat the pin as Intercontinental Champion? I would love for somebody to make sense of that for me right now. I'll give you a hint, folks. There is none. There is none. This is WWE, this is Bruce, this is Vince writing a fucking script while they're sitting on the goddamn fucking toilet, dropping a deuce in the toilet after eating a nice fucking hearty lunch from Titus Catering, and they might have overlooked it. But they overlook everything every single fucking week. And don't go blame Titus for how good the fucking spare ribs were today. Give me a break. Sami Zayn should not be losing. Champions should not be losing on TV at all. At all. I said the same shit about Darby Allin on Wednesday night. And I'm not an AEW shill geek. I do my fair share of complaining about what they've done wrong as well, especially more in recent weeks. They had Darby Allin pinned on TV. He's the new TNT champion. I didn't like it. It shouldn't have happened. Why didn't Cody Rhodes eat the pin? You wanted to put over Brian Cage and Ricky Starks and have Will Hobbs form Team Taz now, right? Why couldn't Cody Rhodes take the pin? Cody Rhodes is bulletproof. Why did you need to pin the champion? Why did you need to pin Sami Zayn tonight? Champions should not be pinned in fucking irrelevant situations. Because Sami Zayn's taking a loss on Sunday night. Why did he need to lose here tonight? Think, folks. Think. While somebody else in the community that's live right now is going to say, this was a great match. This was exciting. This was entertaining. Sami Zayn, he took the pinfall, and then there's no elaboration on that. Then you know you're watching an inferior YouTube channel. You're watching an inferior analyst. You're watching an idiot who doesn't know what the fuck he's watching. That's why you're here. They showed Bryan chatting backstage with Kayla Braxton. Bryan's got a new haircut. I like it. I like it. It's very mohawkish. I like it. Sami Zayn came into the backstage area yelling at the referee, Jessica Carr, wondering how he could even consider that a legal tag for what happened. Now, going back to what happened, by the way, we had Ziggler had Ford on the mat in a chinlock. Very exciting stuff. Dawkins rallied against Sami. He was tagged in, and then so was Roode. Dawkins then tagged in Ford for a top rope frog splash. And then that's what happened. Sami Zayn was only in the match for 10 seconds or so, and he got the pin on Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn was backstage saying there was an illegal tag. He asked Bryan, who was smirking at him, if he thinks this is funny. He asked if he thinks he's better than him. Bryan then lifted his face covering, his mask, as Sami got near his face and started yelling at him and pointing his finger at Daniel Bryan. Bryan shoved Sami as Sami complained about him always getting the spotlight when he returns. It's always about Daniel Bryan. The world revolves around Daniel Bryan. Sami got up and yelled at Daniel Bryan saying, "I will not forget this. We are not done. We are not done. I will be looking at you from afar." So Daniel Bryan looked over at Kayla Braxton and says, "Well, I'm a big advocate for face coverings and social distancing." That's why he shoved Sami Zayn down on the floor. I laughed. I thought that was genuinely funny. Daniel Bryan can be very funny when he's not really trying to be funny. He's just naturally geeky funny. That's why I laughed at this. I don't know why I enjoyed it so much, but I laughed at Daniel Bryan's line there to Kayla Braxton. So he was eventually interviewed by Kayla. She threw clips of their prior SmackDown match, him and Jey Uso, clips of their prior match. She asked if he was concerned about returning so soon to face Jey Uso in a rematch. Bryan says he understands her concern. He said he saw Jay's interview last week where he said what he did to him was nothing personal. He said he actually believes him because Jey has a devil on his shoulder. He said he actually believes him because Roman Reigns is the devil, telling him what to do, pushing him hard. He said everyone, including him, has an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other. He said, and he got intense as he said this, devil. The devil is speaking to him louder about how his daughter cried, reminding him about his time in the hospital. He said Jey should be concerned. And then he added, to be fair, if Jay's listening, it's nothing personal. Bryan is so great. This is why I've always said, man, I've said it for months. When Bryan's on the show, when Bryan's in something big, it makes SmackDown that much more tolerable because Bryan is such a great act. Even though everything in WWE is so scripted, when you see Bryan getting intense like that and talking about Roman Reigns and comparing him to the devil, it's almost as if he is forgetting the fucking script and the lines that he's been given. And you just kind of feel what he's talking about because you're so invested in him as a pro wrestler and you find commonality with him as a human being. He's a hardworking, regular guy, and we all find common in him. That's why we loved him in the first place with the Yes Movement. That's why we love him now, even after coming back after we were told he would never wrestle again. And him calling Roman Reigns the devil, man, I don't know what they're doing. They're alluding to Bryan continuing this feud against the Roman Empire or the Bloodline, right, with the Jey Uso match tonight. He mentioned Roman Reigns tonight as being the devil. He pushed Sami Zayn down. They might tie up those loose ends there before Bryan does anything going on into WrestleMania season. But if you call Roman Reigns in a promo the devil, and that Jey Uso is a good human being, but he's got the devil whispering in his ear, if you label Roman Reigns the devil, that's pretty much signifying that, hey, we could be looking at a WrestleMania match between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns come April. I would absolutely love that. You guys know how I feel about that. That's the WrestleMania match you got to give us if you can't get Dwayne, if you can't get The Rock at WrestleMania. Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was backstage. He revealed that Otis will be the final member of Team SmackDown. Now, this was quite surprising. I was told today that Big E would be the final member. I read today as well, various dirt sheets from Fightful to The Observer to Ringside News. Now, I know they all share news back and forth, but I was reading today, and I'm glad I didn't report it because I'd look like a fucking idiot, but I was told Big E might get the spot at the Survivor Series as the fifth and final member of the team. He's not on the Survivor Series team. Makes you wonder why Big E is not being pushed right now. Is WWE keeping him on the back burner for now because they have plans for him later on? But, I mean, if you broke Big E away from the New Day to make him a single on SmackDown, why aren't you pushing him as a single? I mentioned this a couple of weeks back. It might have been last week or the week before. But if you got Big E on SmackDown and you aren't doing anything with him after you've already established him as a guy that you wanted to push, you had that big feud against Sheamus, that big Falls Count Anywhere match against Sheamus, he came out of that looking like a legit badass. And then he hasn't done anything at all in the ring on SmackDown coming out of the draft. What a way to kill the guy's fucking momentum. Everybody was talking about, oh my God, Big E broke away from the New Day. I'd love for him to get an opportunity at the WWE Universal title. I mean, is anybody now uttering the words Universal title and Big E in the same sentence? Now? No. Nor should you. And that's not even Big E's fault because WWE has no plans for Big E. And Big E, he's not being used on SmackDown because when Vince and Bruce finally get their bearings together with the script and the script is finally delivered to everybody at 7:57 p.m. before they go live on Fox, where is Big E? Why is there no plans for Big E? Then you got to read on Ringside News that nobody asked about Big E. Vince McMahon didn't ask about Big E, so they didn't factor Big E into the show. How fucking foolish. How foolish. You got somebody like Big E on your show and you're not using him on your show weekly, killing his momentum? Put him in the fucking ring. Give him jobbers. At least have him on the fucking show. Keep him in people's eyes and minds and ears. Why is he sitting in the back cutting promos against the Street Profits in a match he has no part in? So Otis is the final member of Team SmackDown. Otis making sense. It would have made sense if Tucker was on Team Raw, but we all know Tucker would never be on Team Raw. I mean, are you kidding me? Otis being on Team SmackDown was the original plan with Tucker on the opposite team, tying up those loose ends. So WWE, once again, throwing it in your faces that they broke up Heavy Machinery and they have no plans to finish up why they did that at all, which is sad. Otis being on the team makes me more sad because we don't get a proper conclusion to why you broke up that tag team. You just broke them up for absolutely no reason. So Gable was there with him, congratulated Otis, said, we did it, we did it. We tapped into your inner alpha, and now anything is possible. Natalya came up to Pierce and asked why he is making her wrestle Tamina for a spot on the team, but Otis gets hand chosen. She said she does have the power to pick one woman, or he has the power, I should say. A proven leader with championship pedigree, and I am choosing Bayley. So Adam Pearce says, I have the power to choose one woman, but I'm not choosing you, I'm choosing Bayley. Natalya yelled at him and asked what he's thinking. He said he's thinking her match is next with Tamina. So she was angry and she stormed to the ring. And I stormed into the kitchen while Natalya and Tamina were in the ring on SmackDown. Seth Rollins was cutting a promo, very good promo by Mr. Becky Lynch Rollins, who's going away, by the way. Rollins will be off of our TVs on Friday night for at least the month of December, folks. Get used to it. Rollins looked into the camera and addressed Murphy. He said he was a nobody, and he gave Murphy a new life, and he is responsible for every good thing he has in his life right now. He was very angry and said in return he was betrayed and stabbed in the back. He said he will no longer suffer for his mistakes, and he will make Murphy pay for all of them. He said he will teach Murphy his final lesson tonight, and he will go back to who he was before he led him, being a nothing and an absolute nobody. Seth Rollins always cuts a very good promo when he's angry like this, but I'm just in a situation, just like all of you, who just want to see this finish. I cannot even begin to think where any of this could possibly be going anymore. It's all over. Rollins does the deed tonight. He goes to the Survivor Series. He leads Team SmackDown, which is probably why he lost tonight. And then he's going to go away to be Mr. Becky Lynch. Goodbye. I'll see you at the Royal Rumble, Messiah. Natalya versus Tamina. Folks, if I told you that I sat and watched this match with eyes wide open, my eyes glued to the television, if I took notes on this match, you must be watching fucking some other podcast, because Natalya versus Tamina, to me, didn't happen. I was probably in the refrigerator for an extended period of time looking for a late night snack after dinner tonight, and I was looking for a cold beverage to consume during the rest of the show. Tamina is awful. Don't even know why she's employed. But she loses here, of course, in 3 minutes. Natalya made her tap out to the sharpshooter. And Natalya is on Team SmackDown. Great. On commentary was Bianca Belair. Belair joked on commentary that she's the EST in every which way. She's excited to represent SmackDown on Sunday. And then Bayley came out and joined the commentators sitting next to Grave and Michael Cole and Bianca Belair. And as the match began, she did not invite herself out there. Bayley just showed up and said, you know what, I'm the team captain. Pierce announced me, I'm the team captain. And you're not going to hear anything from me, man. Bayley is the team captain. On a team with Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Natalya, and Bianca Belair, Bayley is the team captain. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Natalya wins with a sharpshooter, and that is it. Bayley was being very obnoxious. She was being hugged by Natalya because she was so excited for finally getting on the Survivor Series SmackDown team, and Bayley was just kind of eating it up. I'm the captain, I'm the captain. Ruby was saying, no, you're not the captain. Liv was just standing there. Bianca Belair didn't want to get up from the commentary table and address the team captain. She wanted to stay right where she was, sitting next to Michael Cole. But Bayley being overly obnoxious here in the team captain role, and rightfully so. Longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion of all time. And she is the biggest name in this match. And she is the team captain by those standards alone. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. We will talk about their contract signing in just a little bit, man. I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. Take a sip of my cold beverage. We had 500 likes, guys. Thank you. Let's try and get now. The goal is 750. Can you guys do that for me? Here live. 750 is now the new goal for everybody watching live on YouTube, man. Super chats are open as well. Super chats are open as well, so get them on in. You and I are going to be hanging out at the end of the show. Guys, give me a thumbs down in the chat. Give me a thumbs down emoji in the chat if you hate shopping during the holiday season. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that hate shopping. You don't know what to get your grandpa. You don't know what to get your dad. You don't know what to get your best friend, your brother, your uncle, your boss, the guy down the street that makes you fucking coffee every single day. He gives you that extra caramel drizzle and that extra whipped cream on top of that fucking latte every morning. I know. You don't know what to get that guy. If you're a wife, if you're a girlfriend, if you're a mistress, you don't know what to get your husband or your boyfriend or your lover. What do you do? What do you do? I got the answer for you, man. The Ridge. The Ridge is the best gift you can give during the holiday season, man. They are sponsoring the show tonight. Ridge.com/scripts. You guys are going to enter code SCRIPT at checkout and get 10% off any purchase on their online shop, man. It holds up to 12 cards, plus room for cash. I got the cash clip, and you guys can actually go with the cash strap as well. I got the money clip. Awesome. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. I got the forged carbon, man. Still in mint condition. Doesn't scratch or anything, man. This is durable. It's going to last you a lifetime. I really love my wallet, but don't take my word for it, man. They got over 30,000 5-star reviews on Google alone. Like I said, it's durable, which means the wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. You could buy one wallet and own it for the rest of your life. They're also so confident that you're going to like it that they'll let you test drive it for 45 days. If you don't like it, which I don't know why you won't, they'll give you a full refund. And it's just awesome, man. It really is. It makes a great gift. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping and returns by going to ridge.com/script. That's ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off, man. And I want to thank them for being such a great friend this holiday season. A great sponsor right here on Off the Script. Gotta love my Ridge wallet, man. It's fucking awesome. Go and get yourself a Ridge today. Makes a great holiday gift. Moving on, man. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. Contract signing for a match that has absolutely no importance to anything on TV whatsoever. I got news on Roman Reigns, man. Roman Reigns was not supposed to hold the Universal title for very long at all. He was not supposed to hold the title at all, man. Now, Dave Meltzer is reporting that Roman Reigns returned at SummerSlam, picked up the Universal title at Payback 1 week later. This was not WWE's plan for Roman Reigns, and the run was not supposed to last a very long time. Now, The Miz is Mr. Money in the Bank. I got news on him in a second as well. The Miz is Mr. Money in the Bank right now, and Roman Reigns does not take The Miz to be serious, nor should you. Roman Reigns is a target, but Roman Reigns is not losing the title to the fucking Miz, okay? Now, the company could plan anything. They could actually plan The Miz to be WWE champion. I highly doubt it, because the amount of times that they've changed their minds on something, I mean, just look at this Drew McIntyre situation. It would not surprise me in the least bit if The Miz cashed in and won the WWE Universal title. Now, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Live, Reigns was not originally supposed to hold the Universal title for very long. He says this, and I quote, Roman Reigns with a long title run was not the idea, believe it or not. Even though it seems obvious, it was not the idea. I don't know who the guy was supposed to be, but basically, they devalued everybody else, and we are where we are. So Roman Reigns won't be defending the Universal title at Survivor Series. He will face Drew McIntyre in a standard champion versus champion match, which is the formulaic way WWE has given the Survivor Series a gimmick. This could be an interesting situation, especially when it comes to how they will book their way out of this match between Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, who both right now cannot afford a loss. But Roman Reigns' time as Universal Champion was not supposed to be long at all, folks. I don't find that to be legitimate at all. I really don't. Dave Meltzer might be saying that, but I don't think WWE was looking at anybody else on that show as WWE Universal Champion. Roman Reigns, when they gave him the championship, they looked at Roman Reigns, especially when they had the decision to make him heel. Roman Reigns was going to be your champion for the long haul. Nobody else was even close. He has opponents, but nowhere near the level of a guy equal to him to take the title from him and make it seem important and make it seem epic. Now, I do agree with Meltzer. They devalued everybody else, but that's not the reason why WWE, gave the title to Roman Reigns and had him hold the title. Everybody was devalued before Roman Reigns got back, so whether they were devalued then or devalued now, it doesn't really make a difference. They were always devalued. That was always the problem. And WWE doesn't understand that. But that's not the reason why Roman Reigns held the Universal title from winning in a Payback to where we see him now. Not because everybody was devalued, but because WWE had Roman Reigns come back for one reason only, and that was to save SmackDown. So if you're going to have the biggest name on the show come back, why not give him the Universal Championship? Because more eyes will be on him as champion and him as the main focus of the show. And then they turned him heel, made him into the biggest heel in the industry. The Miz. The Miz reportedly will not cash in his Money in the Bank contract until next year. So WWE had Miz defeat Otis in a singles match at Hell in a Cell. With some assistance from Tucker, he turned heel. He was then buried on Raw, and nothing ever came of it. They just broke up a perfectly good tag team that they could definitely use more value in them together, as they are now separated and mean nothing to nobody. This is also from Dave Meltzer, a new report from Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Live this week. WWE gave Miz the Money in the Bank briefcase because they wanted someone to hold onto it until next year. Again, I don't see the difference between the Miz and Otis. I really don't see the difference. You took it off somebody that could have definitely held it till next year. You could have did the same thing with Otis that you're doing with the Miz. It doesn't make sense. I've said this for weeks, and you guys can go back and pull it up. I've said it for weeks. You gave the briefcase to Otis to have him drop it to The Miz. And what did you actually accomplish here? Neither of them are ever going to be fucking Universal Champions, so you gave it to somebody who was in the same boat as Otis. He was never going to win the title anyway. You just did it because you are so creatively bankrupt that you gave Otis the fucking briefcase because he was a flavor of the fucking week back at Money in the Bank coming out of WrestleMania. And Vince is like, haha, we'll give him a briefcase win. Shock and awe. People will watch. People will grab to him on social media and get it trending. And what happened? You fucked up a year's worth of storyline to do what? In the rarest of rarest situations, take a briefcase, put the fucking briefcase on the line to give it to somebody else, and in this case, gave it to somebody else who's in the same fucking position as Otis, a fucking jobber, a loser. So it doesn't matter. At this time, it's unclear whether WWE is going to have Miz successfully cash in his briefcase and become champion for the second time next year, or if they are planning on having him lose his cash in. But WWE has no plans for him to do it until 2021. So we could see WWE actually tease it at Survivor Series, and maybe he fucks up the match between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. I don't know. A multitude of situations can happen on Sunday night. Sheamus, The Miz, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, losing clean, which is not an option here, but in WWE's world, anything's a fucking option. Stupidity is the biggest option in WWE. But The Miz, he could play a factor on Sunday night. We just don't know. We just don't know at all. So, Roman Reigns, he made his entrance to the ring with Paul Heyman. Reigns took his time entering the ring. It seemed like forever, man. Forever. His theme music was playing and playing and playing. It didn't end. He insisted sitting at the head of the table where Pierce was about to sit rather than opposite of Drew. He stared at Drew with a sarcastic smile. Drew stared back. Pierce says his job is simple: to get both guys to sign the contract to make Sunday's match official. Reigns told Pierce to sit down. Reigns said he knew he could do it, but Paul didn't believe in Drew McIntyre as much. He says he's been in his shoes before. All these lessons already learned. Paul told me years ago, you're the right guy in the right place at the wrong time. Sounds like something exactly Paul Heyman would say. So I don't know whether this was a scripted line for Roman to go out there and say, or if this was a shoot. That's exactly something Paul Heyman would say. So, Drew said he's trying to get into his head. Roman, I know what you're doing. You're trying to get into my head. He says he's going to get straight to the point. He said Roman told him to win a title last Friday. He did on Monday. He beat Randy Orton. Not for you, for me. He said he's there to make the match official. So he signed the contract and said to Roman, it's your turn. It's your show. It's your move. He said if he can give him a piece of advice, please, please, Roman, underestimate me. He told him to use these last 2 days to prepare for war. So Reigns was smiling, and he was about to sign the contract. Paul took the pen that he was using. Paul took Roman's pen out of his hand, and he pulled the pen out of his jacket and gave Roman a new pen. I don't know why. Maybe COVID. I don't know. Maybe the pen wasn't sanitized. I don't know. So Reigns dropped the pen and said, let me get this right. You're going to give me advice? You're going to advise me? This is my show. WWE is mine. I'm going to give you advice. I'll give you one last lesson. He said at Survivor Series, he's not going to underestimate or he's not going to understand the brutal truth. But one day he will. You are a secondary title holder. You are a prop. You are a stand-in. You're the guy with the title they get when I'm busy. Roman's busy. He doesn't want to do it. Let's send in Drew. That's who you are. The whole world knows who I am. He said, on the other hand, he's the face of WWE. Drew's tribal chief and the head of the table. He said one day Drew will finally have the opportunity to be the man and the face of the company and the champion. And when he does, he'll look back at these nights and he will thank Roman. Drew sat there defeated, knowing that Roman was slicing him up and there was no comeback at all for this promo. So he was staring at Roman. He smirked at Roman. Reigns says he's going to think about these moments and he'll love him for them because of the lessons he taught him. Roman then said he'd love him right back. He signed the contract and then said, Drew, you will always be my favorite number 2. He winked at Drew and put the pen down. Heyman then went over and grabbed the Universal title and presented it to Reigns like a little weasel that he is. And Reigns put it over his shoulder and left. Michael Cole then uttered Drew McIntyre was disrespected and embarrassed by Reigns tonight, so he wondered what was going on through his head. Now, this did not do Drew McIntyre any favors at all. This did not do Drew McIntyre any favors at all. Folks, Drew McIntyre is not winning this match on Sunday night, so what you did, okay, you took the title off of Randy Orton and put it on Drew McIntyre to get this match, a match that Drew McIntyre was never going to win in 1,000 fucking lifetimes. And don't even make it an option. Roman is not losing, and Roman should not lose. Roman cannot lose. Champions should not lose. This is why this match doesn't make fucking sense. It didn't make sense with Orton, and it didn't make sense with Drew McIntyre, no matter how WWE wants to spin it. You put the title back on Drew McIntyre because WWE needed desperately to make this show somewhat interesting, and they realized, well, we got two big heels right now going at it. We need to switch it up a little bit because we all have babyface versus babyface and heel versus heel dynamics on this show. We got to make this show and this big match a little bit more interesting. So they made a last-minute decision, and that's exactly what it was. Put the title back on Drew McIntyre to have Roman Reigns slice and dice him via this promo. Remember when Roman Reigns and John Cena went one-on-one verbally in the ring, and they had their match a couple years back? That was the same pay-per-view in which Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar was the WWE Championship match. That pay-per-view, I forgot the name of it. I think it happened in September. It was after Great Balls of Fire. Right? I forgot the name of it, but it was a situation like that. Roman Reigns was absolutely annihilated, and he showed the world exactly that he wasn't the man. Not until John Cena completely goes away, Roman will not be the man. I said it. Everybody said it. Roman Reigns was embarrassed on that night. That's exactly what I thought about when I watched this segment with Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is so fucking hot right now that you can't even get within 1,000 feet of him. Otherwise, you'd feel the fucking burn. Your skin would melt. That's how fucking hot he is right now in the world of pro wrestling. He's the biggest heel in the industry, and he just made the WWE champion look like a blithering fucking idiot to a point where he had no words to utter, Roman Reigns, after this promo. That's exactly what you wanted? I would love to know the mentality of these people. This is what you asked for. This is what you wanted. It makes even more sense to me why this match should not have taken place. I don't really understand why this needed to be. I really don't. What WWE did here was try desperately to make the Survivor Series into something special, and it's not. The concept is dead. The entire show is built around The Undertaker. Nobody gives a fuck about any of these matches. In my eyes, nobody can lose any of these matches. These champion versus champion matches, nobody's going to lose these matches that is a champion and be better off for it. None of these matches have a clear-cut winner. Sami Zayn can't lose. He probably will. Bobby Lashley can't lose. Asuka can't lose. Sasha can't lose. The New Day can't lose. Street Profits can't lose. Roman Reigns can't lose. Drew McIntyre can't lose. So why are we doing this? Why are we still stuck in this formulaic build of Survivor Series? WWE has dropped the ball immensely on Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Instead of waiting and having some sort of patience to get this to be a legitimate build with a legitimate story, some legitimate backing, going into a major pay-per-view one-on-one where you can have the option of one of these guys losing, maybe it being a bigger championship on the line type match. You want to do it now. For what? For what? Because you suck at your job? Because Survivor Series and the concept is dead? I told you on Off the Script 3 weeks ago when I talked about how to fix the Survivor Series. This shit needs to stop. Everything that you've seen in this promo, this contract signing, needs to die a miserable fucking death. Champion versus champion matches needs to be done with. This concept for the Survivor Series was cool at first. Now it's not. Why not? Why not now? Because WWE acted as if all these weeks leading into the Survivor Series didn't matter. Now you want to load this show up with, oh my God, Asuka's here. Oh my God, the Street Profits here. Oh my God, the New Day's here. Oh my God, Sami Zayn's talking about Bobby Lashley. Oh my God, we got these Survivor Series teams being filled out. Oh my God, a contract signing. Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion on Raw, coming over to SmackDown. You're not going to build excitement because you had everybody on the same show on the go-home show 48 hours before the Survivor Series. Lazy. Lazy. That goes to show you that you don't give a fuck about the Survivor Series and you don't give a shit about the fucking concept. So why are we even doing the concept? I said it 3 weeks ago. All you need to do is give me a Raw versus SmackDown 5-on-5 match with the men and the women. That is it. You don't need Universal Champion versus WWE Champion. You don't need United States Champion versus Intercontinental Champion. You don't need Tag Team Champions versus each other. You don't need Women's Champions versus each other, because all you're doing is booking yourself into a fucking prison. You're handcuffing yourself for no fucking reason. You wanted to take the month off so badly because you suck at your fucking job, and now look at where you are. Now you're scrambling to come up with conclusions to these matches that more than likely will not make sense whatsoever. No matter what they do, what they plan, and what they give us, nothing will make sense. WWE, all they need to do is kill the gimmick, kill the stipulations here, champion versus champion, kill the shtick, 5-on-5 men and women, Raw versus SmackDown. I talked about this on Off the Script. Continuity. Continuity. I give you continuity every fucking week. I tell you exactly what needs to be done, how it should be done, where to go. WWE should make this entire fucking thing, the draft, Survivor Series, get rid of it. Get rid of it. The draft needs to happen at the end of WrestleMania. That Monday night after WrestleMania, that is when your draft should be a thing. Not after fucking SummerSlam. Not 3 weeks before fucking Survivor Series. How could you give a shit about any of these feuds, any of these matchups going into Survivor Series? How could you give a shit about allegiance to a brand when you got Raw and SmackDown men and women on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for 3-4 weeks now? What type of allegiance are they giving to Monday Night Raw? What type of allegiance are you as a fan giving to Team Raw or Team SmackDown? Why would you even give a shit? As far as I'm concerned, everybody that got drafted from SmackDown to Raw and Raw to SmackDown still has allegiances to their old brand because they were with them for far longer than just 4 fucking weeks. Get rid of it. WWE should do the draft after April, after WrestleMania, Monday night after WrestleMania, whatever the case may be. Have the entire month filled with draft. Seriously. All you got to do is make it make sense. Then all you do is come to the Survivor Series. You got Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. You have qualifying matches. You put something on the line. You give the match meaning. Why are they fighting? Why are they fighting to be on Team Raw? Why are they fighting in the Survivor Series? If you want the brand versus brand warfare, and you're really going to stick to the brands being specifically just separate entities, 5-on-5, and you give that match meaning, that big elimination match. The winners, or the guys that are remaining in that match, the team who wins, all nets themselves a Money in the Bank ladder, not a Money in the Bank, a TLC ladder match spot 5. Not 6, not 8, not 10. Because WWE likes to overwhelm and quantity over quality. Whoever wins SmackDown or Raw, the 5 men and 5 women who win their individual Survivor Series matches, they go into a ladder match at TLC, and they win that TLC ladder match. Whoever comes out on top, the 1 man and 1 woman who wins that ladder match goes into the Royal Rumble and gets a WWE or Universal Championship match, depending on which brand wins it. Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship at Survivor Series. The winner of the Royal Rumble would obviously be somebody from the opposite brand. Okay? So, or someone, whoever wins the Royal Rumble, then the Elimination Chamber would obviously go to the opposite brand. And then you build from there. Survivor Series goes into TLC. TLC goes into the Royal Rumble. Then the Royal Rumble could go into the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber could go into WrestleMania. You already got everything lined up for yourself. Continuity, all the pay-per-views flow. Then you go to WrestleMania. WrestleMania ends the WWE season. Draft. The draft. Whether it happens on the Raw after WrestleMania or somewhere in April. The draft. And then you have whatever pay-per-view you have in May. And then you, in my eyes, I won't even do a pay-per-view in May. I'd take the whole month of fucking May off. Have qualifying matches, and I mean extensive qualifying matches, and start building your King of the Ring, which needs to happen every fucking year. King of the Ring needs to happen every year qualifying, and I mean level the fucking field. 16. You got the talent to do so, whether you want to do 8 or 8, whatever. 8 men on both brackets for Raw and SmackDown. And then you have the King of the Ring tournament. And the final 8 all happens on pay-per-view like it used to happen in the old days. Back when Bret Hart and Owen Hart won it. All you did was get the 8 matches, right? The 8 in the King of the Ring tournament. You got the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and then the finals happening in one night. You make it a fucking spectacle. Winner of the King of the Ring tournament wins a championship match at SummerSlam. You're already booking yourself into a easy situation. You're making your life easier. Whether it's a Raw, SmackDown, Superstar, whatever, championship match of their choosing for whatever brand that they're on, going into SummerSlam. Then you do Night of Champions, where champions are defending their championships up and down the card. Get rid of Hell in a Cell. Get rid of these gimmick pay-per-views. Right back to fucking Survivor Series. Rinse and repeat. All of the pay-per-views should lead into one another. Why is this so difficult? Why is this so difficult for WWE? Survivor Series means nothing. Absolutely nothing. This contract signing meant absolutely fucking nothing. Because it was built on a show with 48 hours to go, and you made a last-ditch effort to make the show a little bit more interesting, knowing that you did a shit job at putting this shit together. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Why this is so easy coming from my lips to your ears, and Bruce and Vince can't do shit. It is very simple. They got the talent, they got the resources to do it. Why don't they do it? Because they don't fucking care. They don't care. Buddy Murphy versus Seth Rollins. This was easily the best match of the night. Seth was in control. There was a terrible, my God, man, I thought Buddy Murphy pulled a Finn Balor and fucking tore his shoulder off or tore his fucking arm out of his socket. Seth Rollins shoved him so hard off the fucking ropes, off the top rope. I don't even remember what it was. All I remember is Buddy Murphy going into the barricade. This guy flew like Rollins was throwing a fucking baseball at somebody standing in the batter's box, man. That's how hard he threw Buddy Murphy into the barricade from the ring. He flew into the barricade. So he remained in control. Murphy then obviously somehow made a comeback, sidestepped Rollins, who tried to charge and dove him into a situation out on the floor. He overshot him, but he grazed him. So many fucking dives, man. Unnecessary. But Murphy climbed to the top rope. Seth met him up there, superplexed him. He rolled into a Falcon's Arrow. Murphy came back with a high knee to Seth on the ring apron. The Mysterio family watched at ringside in some way, shape, or form. They even got involved. Rollins was throwing Rey Mysterio into the announce table. He threw Dominic into the barricade. This is a guy that said, I'm done with the Mysterio family last week, and here he is attacking Rey and attacking Dominic and stalking Aaliyah on the outside. So, Mr. Rollins, Mr. Becky Lynch, you lied. Thanks for lying to us, bro. Really appreciate that. The Mysterio family was watching from ringside. Graves said Murphy doesn't have what it takes to beat Seth Rollins. Aha! Aha. He was full of shit. Seth gave Murphy a stomp in the ring. He made the cover. Murphy put his leg on the bottom rope, saved himself. Seth gave Murphy a buckle bomb. He then yelled at Rey Mysterio and the Mysterio family. Murphy caught him by surprise with a big V-trigger knee. He avoided another stomp and then kneed Seth. He followed with Murphy's Law, made the cover 1, 2, 3, and Michael Cole called it the biggest victory of Murphy's career, which, in fact, it was. It wasn't the biggest match of his career, but it was definitely the biggest win of his career. This was very good. Rollins probably, and I said this earlier, Rollins probably gave Murphy this because he needed it. Rollins didn't really need it. Rollins is set to go away anyway. Rollins is set to captain Team SmackDown, which in my honest opinion, Team SmackDown is going to sweep Monday Night Raw, all except for Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley will beat Sami Zayn. But as far as the 5-on-5, I think SmackDown women and SmackDown men are going to sweep the elimination matches. That's just me. So Rollins captaining Team SmackDown, I think he's going to get his victory back and lead his team to victory. That's why he gave up the win here to Buddy Murphy. But this was a very good match. Mysterio family came into the ring and congratulated Murphy in the ring. And then all of a sudden, Sasha Banks comes out. And we go from one segment to the next. Asuka made her ring entrance. Michael Cole interviewed both of them. He talked about the history between them. He said, this is the end of a bitter rivalry which started this past summer when Sasha Banks took the Raw title from Asuka. Damn right I did, Sasha said. She was good in this role. Very obnoxious, very villain-like was Sasha Banks. Asuka shot back some words and mocked her and said, you are not the boss of me. Sasha called her sweetheart. Went back and forth with Cole. Cole said Asuka beat her at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's title and has held it ever since and is just waiting for Charlotte to come back so that Charlotte could take it off of Asuka. He forgot to mention that. So Sasha didn't like that, of course, and she got all upset. Sasha asked Cole if he's forgetting what time it is. She said, it's always boss time. Sasha, please don't remind him. Please. Please. I beg of you, please do not remind him what time it is because he will never shut up if you don't stop. Boss time. She said Asuka is one of the greatest. Asuka then interrupted and started yelling in Japanese. Sasha mocked, laughed back at her, and said that she's got the jokes. She said on Sunday, it won't be a laughing matter. She said she has no doubt that she is the best of the best. Asuka says, you can't see me. And then she started dancing around. Sasha said she can see her, and for once, she can understand her, but keep her fingers out of her face. She said they don't have to wait until Sunday. Michael Cole then left the ring. Asuka yelled, you are not ready for Asuka. Sasha then said the boss was born ready. And then all of a sudden, Carmella came out and attacked Sasha Banks from behind for a third week in a row. Asuka just watched as Carmella stomped away at her and hung her upside down in the corner. She then left Sasha laying there, and Asuka just continued to look on. I don't give a shit about Carmella in this situation. If I was a betting man, I would say Carmella's going to cost Sasha Banks the match on Sunday night, and Asuka is going to win because inevitably Asuka has Charlotte Flair to look at, and we all know what the outcome of that match is going to be when and if, I should say when, not if, that match happens on Monday Night Raw. As long as Charlotte doesn't win the Royal Rumble again, I'll be fine. Kayla was interviewing Jey Uso backstage. She asked if he's allowed to talk to her. Jey said, Kayla's still got jokes. Yeah, I've gotten the green light to talk to you. He said, Bryan talks like he's not responsible for his own actions. He said he threw Bryan off the stretcher because he wanted to, and everything he did was his decision. He said Reigns is telling him to go get him. We got Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan in the main event. This went 14 minutes. This was a really good match. Jey was on offense here after a small commercial break. Jey Started yelling at DB, he called him. Yelling that it's not personal. Bryan made a babyface comeback. Jey caught him on the top rope and superplexed him. Bryan countered a Samoan drop into a crucifix for a near fall. Bryan then went for a face lock. Jey escaped. Jey drove knees into Bryan's ribs. Bryan knocked Jey off balance on the top rope. Bryan then went up top, met him up there, back suplexed him into the ring. Bryan then hit his yes kicks, scored a near fall. Bryan stomped on Jey's head over and over and over again on the mat. Bryan then led a yes chant with the fictional crowd, which I'll talk about in a second. And he charged Jey. Jey super kicked him. Jey super kicked him a second time, and a third time he followed with a top rope splash, but Bryan lifted his knees up and he got the small package on Jey Uso for the win. Jey Uso is growing in this role. I love when people said he was not a singles wrestler. I did that the first week. I never looked back. He absolutely belongs in this role. He looks great for it. Everybody should understand now why Roman Reigns and Jey Uso feuded. When Jey is getting the type of attention and the main event spot that he's getting on SmackDown right now, it's only going to enhance Jimmy when he comes back. So when Roman has his boys join him, they're both at full strength. They're both at full power, which is going to make Roman look even better. Even though some people think Roman doesn't need the muscle, it's going to make him look more villainous in the end. So I get it. But Jey Uso was shining, and Daniel Bryan always looks great. This was a very good match. They didn't really follow up on anything. All Michael Cole said was, Roman Reigns, he's going to have a word with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is not going to be happy about this, being that Jey Uso lost, and they just ended the show. Bryan was leading a fictional yes chant with the fake crowd, and then Jey Uso was on the outside looking all discouraged as he's going into the Survivor Series. So we've kind of taken a back seat to the Tribal Chief, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns storyline. I don't know what the next chapter is going to be. I don't know what the next title match is going to be for Roman Reigns. I hope it's not Daniel Bryan at TLC. I mean, that's a D-level pay-per-view. You're not going to do Bryan versus Reigns at TLC. Give me a break. Maybe it's Kevin Owens. Maybe it's somebody else that we're not thinking about. Who knows? But they ended quite abruptly with really no follow-up. We'll see ya at the Survivor Series. And that was it. SmackDown was SmackDown, folks. Really nothing of note. Bunch of illogical gaps. A bunch of nothing. A bunch of non-excitement going into Sunday night. WWE needs to do a better job at getting people excited and getting people to care. Survivor Series is a dead concept. I hope they realize this going into next year. Things need to change. Things need to feel more important. Shows need to have continuity. Shows need to bleed into one another and flow into one another. You got to build yourself up for making these shows important. Okay? Seriously. And the concept of Survivor Series, it needs to go away. Because you ain't doing anybody any favors. WWE has shown you that they don't give a shit about anything going into the Survivor Series. So why are we, as a fan base, supposed to care? Because, oh my God, fantasy matchups. Oh my God, dream matchups. Raw versus SmackDown. It's all rubbish. It's all non-existent. There's no Raw versus SmackDown. There's no brand warfare. There's not even a brand split. You so nonchalantly break the rules of the brand split. Raw versus SmackDown being separate doesn't even fucking matter. They're just Raw and SmackDown. With WWE breaking the rules along the way because they can. Because they have to. Because their ratings are in the fucking toilet. It really is sad. It really is sad. I got some additional news, guys. I'm not done yet. Latest on Aleister Black's request to go to NXT. Was Aleister Black on the show? Is Aleister Black at Survivor Series? Of course not. He's being punished because of his wife. This report came from WrestleVotes. There was a bit more behind the scenes to the Zelina Vega release. Frustration from both sides is an understatement. While it can't be directly tied to Zelina being released or fired, Aleister Black recently requested his move back to NXT and it was denied. Dissension amongst parties involved. That's what WrestleVote said last week. Now, it turns out that Black didn't necessarily ask officials to be sent back to NXT. Meltzer reported in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Black had floated the idea to WWE officials. So, I don't really understand here. So, if Black didn't necessarily ask WWE officials to be sent back to NXT, but Meltzer is reporting that he had floated the idea to WWE officials. Isn't floating the same as asking? If you are coming up with a thought and it's coming out of your mouth as words and you float the idea around to WWE officials, isn't it the same thing as pretty much asking, what if we send me back down to NXT? There's really no difference in my eyes than him saying that compared to, I think I want to ask for a move back down to NXT. If you're floating the idea, then that means that's what you want. So he pretty much said it in a way of him not really directly asking them, but he was really meaning that he wants to go back down to NXT. Ridiculous. Aleister Black at the end of the day got turned down, and WWE's not going to abide or appease Aleister Black because he's now punished. Because his wife went against company policy and opened up an OnlyFans and opened up a Twitch account. She didn't close it down. She didn't close the OnlyFans down. And who do you think was directly responsible for that, man? He is guilty because he is associated. So Aleister Black, they're not going to fire him because they'd be fucking dumb. But Aleister Black is being punished and buried. He was already buried before the move to SmackDown. I mean, Titus and Dana Brooke got drafted in the draft ahead of Aleister Black. But he's being punished because he's guilty by association. And WWE is blowing off Buddy Murphy versus Seth Rollins at the last minute. This was a last-minute decision. Ringside News exclusively reported that Rollins will be out of action. And it's going to be around 4 to 6 weeks because of him becoming Mr. Becky Lynch. He will be back, but WWE still had to wrap up his storyline in a hurry. So we got Murphy and Rollins tonight. Murphy won. It's being reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that these blow-off matches came out of nowhere with no advertising because this likely wasn't an idea until the last minute. Rollins versus Ray, last minute. Rollins versus Murphy, last minute. Rollins and the absence of Seth on SmackDown will give Ray and Dominic time to continue their storyline with Aaliyah and Murphy without Seth Rollins. So we will have to wait and see where they go. I'm predicting a wedding of sorts. I'm predicting a wedding and Murphy betraying the Mysterio family. They just need to do that and give us a reason as to why he would do that. Why would he betray the Mysterio family? What would he be asking for? What would be his reason? Right? Because we all know that's going to happen. A wedding at the end of the year. Murphy's going to propose. She's going to say yes. They're going to give the wedding. Something's going to be fucking wrong. He's going to betray her. He's going to drug her up. He's going to fucking nail her in the broom closet. Who the fuck knows? Who knows? He's going to betray the Mysterio family for what? For what? You got Rey Mysterio giving you a sign of approval and you want to betray his trust? Come on. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I got news on Chelsea Green. Remember her? Yeah, she was in a match last week with no fucking debut or excitement surrounding it. No video package, no vignette, nothing. Just showed up randomly. Nobody knows who the fuck she is. Chelsea Green made her SmackDown debut last week, and it was supposed to go a little bit different because A, she was supposed to win the match. B, they called an audible when she got hurt. She broke her wrist again. And C, WWE actually had plans to change her name. Now, I don't know what they were going to change her name to, but Fightful is reporting that there were plans to give her the name Victorious for her main roster debut. Now, I don't know if that's going to be in line with something else, something Victorious, Chelsea Victorious, I don't know. In fact, they had both names, Green and Victorious, on the run sheet for last week's SmackDown, but she kept her name because of a trademark issue. After her SmackDown debut last week, she was scheduled to cut a post-match promo where she would start calling herself Victorious. This is per Fightful, and I quote, "There were some concerns raised by some within the company that there could be a trademark issue in making that happen. Both Green and Victorious appeared to be on the internal rundowns. As previously noted, Green was supposed to win the Fatal 4-Way and be on the Women's Survivor Series team, but an audible was called and Liv Morgan won because Green injured her wrist, taking a bad bump at ringside. Morgan was actually the original plan before the script was rewritten. So Green was second. In the original script that Vince ripped up, Liv Morgan was going to win, and then the script was rewritten, and then Chelsea Green was scheduled to win, and then when Chelsea got hurt, they went back to the original, which is Liv Morgan. So, according to Fightful, Vince McMahon recently met with Chelsea Green and informed her that she would be debuting on the SmackDown brand imminently. I wish they would have went about this a little bit better. Vignettes, video package, give her the Carmella treatment. Let us know who she is before she shows up on TV. Make her into a star like we all know that she could be. But nah. WWE loves building characters, right? Character development is what was in the job posting. Bullshit! Chelsea Green debuting on SmackDown the way that she did is character development. So it was said that most people heard that Green's meeting with Vince McMahon went positive. Heyman was already behind her and wanted to push Chelsea Green as a top star prior to his removal as executive director of Raw. Ringside News exclusively reported that all the plans for SmackDown were torn up the night before. The original script, like I said, had Liv Morgan winning the match, and then the new version was written the next day with Green as the new winner. This was all confirmed by Dave Meltzer, who backed up Ringside's report. What a joke. Now she's out for 3 to 4 months because of a bullshit decision to show up, or for her to show up on SmackDown. Now WWE has one less woman that could be a big asset to that women's division. Outside of Sasha, Bayley, and Bianca Belair, you have nobody. They're not going to push Liv. They're not going to push Ruby. They're not going to... Who else they got? They got Billie Kay, Tamina, Natalya. Give me a break. Fucking ridiculous, man. Both women's divisions outside you-know-who, Sasha, Asuka, Bayley, Bianca, the android when she comes back. How many different matches can you have with only those women? Everybody should be at least being built up. Get everybody to the same level or at least equal, somewhat equal to everybody else. They don't do that because they don't care. Character development doesn't exist in WWE. Doesn't. Guys, that is the review portion of the show. If you came and hung out for the review, I'd love if you stick around, man. We're going to read some super chats. But if you came for the review and the review only, I will see you guys on Sunday afternoon. I will be live with a very special episode 352 of Off the Script. I have made an executive decision to go live on Sunday afternoon before all the football games and do a live Off the Script for you guys. Survivor Series preview and predictions, going over the news and rumors during the week. Should be good, man. So schedule your calendars and set your notifications. Live on Sunday in the afternoon, and then live on Sunday night for Survivor Series, man. So make sure you guys go and do that. And I'm taking Saturday off. I wanted to get a show up tomorrow, but there really isn't anything substantial for me to talk about. Blame WWE. Don't blame me. All right, guys, hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 750, man. We're almost there. 638 in the chat right now. Let's get 750 in the chat live. Super chats are open. Get them on in. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter and Instagram. And the Ridge, man. Ridge.com. As always, thank you to them for sponsoring the show. Ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off, man. Let's read these super chats. Gregory Benson with a $4.99 super chat. While Natalya and Tamina were in the ring, Guy was in Milwaukee cooking up some special Thanksgiving dinner. Hashtag Triple D. I love it, man. I love when Gregory Benson's in the chat and he just tells me where Guy Fieri was during the worst segments of the show, man. That's his new gimmick. That's his new gimmick here on the podcast, man. He also says, honestly, seeing Carmella and Asuka in the ring together gave me terrifying flashbacks of 2 years ago when Carmella was champion. Thank Christ we did not see any of that tonight. And you know what, man? They never got Asuka to a point where she could get revenge on Carmella and Ellsworth. Never got revenge. Asuka looked like a blithering idiot during all of that. Thank you for the $9.99 and $4.99, Mr. Benson. I appreciate you. Jacob Donnelly with a $5 super chat. Was mostly bored by tonight's show except for the contract signing. Crazy how Survivor Series is this Sunday, and in no way does it feel like it. Bro, at some points, like I said in the beginning, I didn't even realize Survivor Series was this weekend until maybe 3 or 4 days ago. I'm like, oh shit, we got a fucking pay-per-view on Sunday night. Jordan with a $2 super chat. It's not much, but I gotta show my love, bro. Thank you so much, Jordan. I appreciate you, man. We got a $50 bomb from the Pro Wrestling Podcast. Love you, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, man. 50's a lot. I'm glad I could be here for you guys. Furman Lopez with a $2 super chat. WWE is a dumpster fire and will burn to the ground. With the current creative team, they're already there, bro. They are already there. JD, ¿Cómo estás? Says Papo Jr. with a $5 super chat. Showing love to the OTS family. WWE could really use this chance to merge the tag team title Sunday, but knowing them, it ain't gonna happen. Bro, they had 3 opportunities to do that, and they didn't do it any of the times that were presented. I've given up on that. And when the next time comes, I'll rant about it why they didn't do it all over again. Majin Styles with a $5 super chat. Unfortunately, they added a dual-branded Battle Royal for Sunday with nothing for the winner as usual. And I don't give a shit, as usual. Justin Striplin with a $9.99 super chat. If the SmackDown women's team doesn't sweep the Raw women's team, it will be disappointing. SmackDown's women's team is so stacked, there's no reason for them to lose this Sunday. Bro, they're not going to lose. They'll give you a tease about Lana maybe being the sole survivor, but she's going to get eliminated. Bianca's probably going to be the sole survivor. I sensed some tension between Bianca and Bayley. It's exactly where I seen this going because Sasha's going to be with Carmella. Bayley's going to need something. So Bayley is just built up so much right now that she's going to give some of that to Bianca and get Bianca to a point where she'll be next in line to go after Sasha Banks. Jericho 8131 with a $10 super chat. I'm over the brand warfare gimmick for Survivor Series. AJ Styles was just on SmackDown and called it his house for years. Now he's on Raw and he wants to beat up SmackDown just because? Garbage. You said it, bro. You said it best. Justin Striplin, look at this, with a triple donation, man. A $4.99, a $9.99, and another $4.99 donation. He says, Otis being picked to be the final member of Team SmackDown over Big E is complete garbage, in my opinion. WWE's creative is so stupid they should have had AJ Styles feud with Otis for the Money in the Bank briefcase when Styles was on SmackDown. I think Styles should have won the Money in the Bank briefcase in the first place. I agree. He had every reason to be upset. Roman's promo on McIntyre tonight felt more like a shoot promo than a scripted promo. I sensed no lies in anything that Roman Reigns said tonight against Drew McIntyre. Prince with a $4.99 super chat. What's up, JD? Having more fun on my PS5 than watching SmackDown. Hopefully we get Bayley Bianca feud. It's coming. Getting Bianca ready for Sasha. Keep up the hard work. I just said it, bro. It's going to happen. Fallen Exposure with a $5 super chat. It doesn't matter if champions lose, it will be forgotten the next day. You are correct, my friend. They are all exhibition matches. Go back to classic Survivor Series. That was fun. I agree, bro. Justin Striplin with a $9.99. Justin's the MVP tonight, man. $9.99. JD, if you were lead creator for WWE, I'd be watching Raw and SmackDown more. Your ideas are way better than what those 3 old senile morons can come up with. Phil, $9.99. Congrats on the Twitch partnership. I love what you do over there. I believe that WWE has made a joke out of the Survivor Series ever since the champion versus champion match that began in 2017. Thoughts? Of course it's a joke, bro. This year is the biggest joke the Survivor Series has ever looked like. In any year I've watched the Survivor Series. It's terrible. I legitimately care about nothing on Sunday's show. Nothing. Charles Wright with a $2 super chat. You helped me get through work. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Charles, for being here. And thank you for the $2, brother. Justin Striplin with another donation, man. $3.99. Congrats on your partnership with Twitch. Cheers. And then we got It's the Costanza with a 99-cent super chat. And he just leaves me a excited-looking emoji. Thank you, Costanza. Guys, my night is about done here, man. 2 hours is a long time. But you guys enjoyed, and that's why I am the #1 fucking show in this entire community. Nobody works like me. Nobody's got the work ethic like I do, man. This is my community. Remember that. Everybody else is in second fucking place, bro. When Roman Reigns said what he said, just take what he said and apply it to everybody else in this fucking community, man. I'm the head of the table. I'm the tribal chief. And when I'm not around, everybody else is called upon. Why? Because JD isn't there. Meanwhile, when I'm here, everybody has all eyes on me every single week. We're going to talk about The Undertaker on Sunday's show, man. I think it's either Bray Wyatt or Karrion Kross. I'm making a prediction. We'll talk about the Survivor Series on Sunday afternoon, folks. I will not be on Twitch this weekend, man. I wanted to do Twitch on Sunday, but I got to do off the script instead because there really isn't anything for me to talk about, man. I wanted to do it today, record today for tomorrow, but it's not going to happen. If I got some time tomorrow, I might be on Twitch, but more than likely Monday. Monday will be the big congratulations stream. We'll all hang out, have some cold beverages, man. But thank you guys for showing up, man. Hit that thumbs up. Christopher Elliott with a $2 bomb. Cheers to the Messiah of the IWC. Appreciate you, bro. And Edgar Estrada. How can I forget Edgar, man? Always late to the party, but always #1 in everybody's hearts. Hey, bro, only took 3 years for Roman to embarrass someone on the mic like Cena did to him. You knew Roman would work better as a heel. JD, love you, bro. Enjoy your weekend, you beast. Edgar, love you, bro. You enjoy your weekend, my friend. Be safe. Guys, go and get your new off-the-script JD from NY t-shirt, man. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of that. Link is down below. Go check all the videos you might have missed. Twitter at JD from NY206. Twitter and Instagram. And hit that subscribe button down below, man. I'll see you guys on Sunday afternoon. OTS, set your notifications and hit that subscribe button, man. I'm taking my cold beverage. I'm getting in the Mustang. It's parked right outside, man. I'm looking right at it. Beautiful. The windows are down. The music is full blast. Give me those guitar emojis in the chat. And I'll see you guys on Sunday afternoon for OTS, man. See you guys later.